First off, Dex is gay. That being said, I would like to tell a little known fact to all you nightly members, and that being Seth, or Tank, and I have actually met once before in person, and let me tell you, this mook is one unattractive, quote-unquote, human being, and not so intelligent at that. This smash-mouth look-alike wannabe couldn't count his balls and come up with the same number twice. No lie, this guy thinks that Greedo shot first. I mean, I've heard stories, but honestly, I didn't believe they stacked shit this high. This is the only guy I know who could fuck up a wet dream. And for a guy who needs a license to be that ugly, he did manage to, date rape his beautiful wife. And not to drag her into this, but I do think, mind you, but I do believe her and I bumped uglies almost 3 years ago at some kind of convention for comics or Star Wars or sex addicts or all of the above. Point is, I don't really remember much about fathering his child, but what a cute kid. Thank God he doesn't have that Down syndrome look Seth has. For example, the lower eyelids, enlarged forehead, slurred speech, and so on. So, anyway, how we met was I got invited by Dexter to go to Charlotte to show some of my videos to part of the local film industry people, kind of like a networking party, or what Seth likes to call a circle jerk. And upon hearing him say that, combined with the tone of his voice and the flailing mixed with the limpness of his wrist, there is no doubt in my mind that this guy parks his beef bus in Turd Town. That and the assless chaps were a dead giveaway. If he was a dinosaur, he'd be a megasaur ass. Poo stabbing aside, he seemed like your average 40-something-year-old Burger King manager. I have to guess that his parents were siblings, otherwise humanity is in fact doomed. Anywho, this circle jerk is taking place in a 2-story bar with people's short DVDs being projected on the screen for all to see just above a small raised stage. After the last video had been played, a friend of Dexter's and an independent up-and-coming country star was going to play for us. Seth grabs the microphone and jumped up on stage and said the following: "Hi y'all, how you tonight?" Nobody answered. "Well, today is my boy's second birthday, and I thought I would bring him up here with me and my wife and give y'all a little show. We been working on it, and this is the first time we done it in public." At this point, circus music blares from the speakers, and the long-legged, tight, candy-appled ass of Seth's wife walks to center stage. And when she got next to Seth, he reared back and kicked his wife straight in the vagina with a devastating blow, and she fell to the floor immediately, busting her lip wide open and breaking her nose all in the same fall. She rolls over in pain on her back, and little Seth takes a running start, jumps, and lands on his mother's face. She screams in agony as he pulls out a salt shaker from his pocket and begins seasoning her wounds, while simultaneously urinating in her mouth through his little jean overalls. She's gurgling blood, and then coughing up chunks of blood clot in the 2-year-old's face as Seth Sr. has managed to become completely naked and taking a 3-point stance over his wife's head and aiming his puckering asshole at his little boy. He lets out a deafening fart, spraying runny diarrhea into the boy's face, which runs down the front of him all over his mother, who has started to vomit blood. Of course, now the boy starts vomiting shit and stomach acid on the mother, and shitting his own pants. Finishing with taking his own shit, Seth turns around and starts pissing in his boy's face to clean out the little remaining shit chunks. Mind you, the people sitting at the bar have no idea what the hell is going on, and are too frightened and or disgusted to do anything for fear of getting killed by these psychos, or catching AIDS, which, let me tell you, all 3 of them have. So now the little boy has pulled down the mother's skirt and started to eat her out, while Seth begins jamming his giggle stick down Mrs. Seth's throat, which has become quite an easy task, being that there is a plethora of blood and vomit to lube his cock. When Seth is about to come, he pulls out and turns around to ejaculate on his wife's tits, but he prematurely shoots off into his son's eyes. The boy stands up to wipe his eyes on his father's clothes to end the burning, but slips on the blood and vomit, falls off the stage, breaks his neck, and dies. Well, Seth saw this as an opportunity and picks up his lifeless son's body and begins furiously fucking the corpse with his wife, while his wife tongues his ass. Well, she starts throwing up again, and in the middle of all this butt sex, somehow Seth's kid is jerked back to life, but still paralyzed from the waist down. Seth's wife takes the kid's head and starts shoving it in and out of her vagina while Seth is punching her in the face, all building up to the grand finale of one giant orgasmic spray of female juices all over the first 3 rows of people. They stand up, except for the boy, take a bow, and Seth starts putting his clothes back on. And unable to keep quiet any longer, someone in the back yells out, "What the hell kind of an act is that?" To which Seth replied, "The aristocrats!"